This boy got chickenpox and scratched his blisters. Then within hours, the ultimate tragedy struck. Jasmine Shortland, 23, was left broken when her son Brian Andrew Locke passed away in his sleep while sleeping at his grandmother's house. The young mom was originally told that her son had died from sudden infant death syndrome or SIDS on August 11 last year. But they learned earlier this year that the youngster died from a streptococcus infection which led to septicemia. MS Shortland is now warning parents to be extra vigilant if their child gets chickenpox. Little Brian Andrew's final words to his mom were "I love you," and appeared perfectly healthy aside from a sore neck that day. MS Shortland claims she was later told after a post-mortem that the infection was likely to have been caused by him scratching one of his chickenpox. She said, "I was just shocked. How can a 3-year-old boy catch something that's so rare?" Apparently he must have scratched one of his chickenpox, and that's how the infection got in. It is so rare. I am trying to raise more awareness to other moms. If your child has chickenpox, it is something that can lead to infection. I think it is really important to know how dangerous it can be. My other child had it, and he was absolutely fine. He had no problems at all. It still hasn't sunk in. When I go to his grave, it just doesn't feel right talking to a headstone. I should be talking to him? He should be starting school this year. It is the milestones that kill me the most. I had to carry him down the aisle on the day of his funeral. I should have seen him at the end of an aisle looking at his bride. It broke me. The young mother added that her partner Josh Westcott, 21, and her other children, Isaac Westcott, 5 months, Ivan Westcott, 1, and Austin Edwin Mayos Westcott, 2, are keeping her going. When Brian Andrew complained of a stiff neck in his face and neck became swollen, she thought he might have had mumps. Brian Andrew and his brother Austin were staying with their grandmother that night because the 23-year-old didn't want her youngest son Ivan, 1, to become infected, who was just 4 months old at the time. When the grandmother went to wake up the brothers in the morning, she discovered Brian Andrew was cold and wouldn't get up. She called for an ambulance, and they performed CPR, but unfortunately it was too late. MS Shortland added, "The night before he was running around. He was happy. He was laughing and joking. It just doesn't make sense." About 8:15 a.m., we were awoken by a loud banging on the front door, she said. It was my stepdad, David. He was crying. He said, "Brian's gone." I just fell on the floor screaming and crying. I have always known about strep B, but I'd never heard of strep until that day. The doctors said it is so rare. There were no symptoms. Because it was so rare, he just had normal symptoms for mumps. He had no rash, nothing that you would normally have. His body was so small he couldn't fight it, and it turned into sepsis. It is just weird that there were no symptoms. She was given this new information in February 2017 after a post-mortem was carried out, and says she was also told that there wouldn't have been anything the family could have done to save him. The report informed the family that Brian Andrew, who had contracted chickenpox in May 2016, could have contracted an invasive form of the streptococcus infection by scratching one of his chickenpox scabs, which eventually led to sepsis.